Hello, my name's Naomi, I'm 19 and this is my Draw My Life. I was born in March 1994 in Dunedin, New Zealand. I have one older sister and a mum and a dad. We lived in a big house on a hill and we could see the sea from our lounge. When I was younger, my favourite thing was reading Harry Potter and hanging out with my best friend Rosa. We used to make up songs on a trampoline and play dress-ups a lot. Then, when I was 6, my dad got a new job and we moved to Darwin, Australia. When my dad showed me where Australia was on the world map, I thought it was the most faraway place ever. Australia was very different to New Zealand, but I loved it a lot. There were scary lizards and biting ants, and we had our pool in our backyard. We also had this huge swing, and my sister used to push me so high I could see over our roof. Then, after 18 months there, my dad's job finished, so we moved back home. We stayed at home for 6 months while he tried to find a job. He couldn't find one, and looking back now, that must have been a really hard time for him. So we moved to Leeds in England, which was actually ages away. My dad was English and most of his family lived in Hull, so it was cool for me and my sister to meet the other side of the Peacock gang. England was strange though. It was cold in December and we had to wear a tie at school even though I was only 8. I don't really remember much of Leeds, except there was a Burger King right next to the library and I used to sneak in small chips whenever I could afford them. While we were there, we holidayed in France and Switzerland, and this was my first real experience of other cultures. We were there during a heat wave and I remember playing in this fountain in Paris, which I could do because I was young and cute looking. Again, after 18 months my dad's job finished and so we made plans to move back home. I think my dad wanted to stay, but my mum wanted myself and my sister to grow into proper New Zealand teenagers. So off we went, but we stopped in Kenya, Tanzania, Swaziland and South Africa on the way. That was amazing and I can't wait to visit that part of the world again. It was a proper settle down then, and I started back at my old school. My dad and my mum both had jobs and it looked like we weren't going to go anywhere for a while, which we didn't. 2007 came and I broke my arm while we were out hiking in the summer, so I started high school with a big red cast on my arm. People laughed at me and I kind of decided then to never care what anyone thought of me, for the most part. I found a new group of friends and after 15 years I kind of mixed things up with Rosa. But apart from that, it was all going peachy. Until October 2009, when my dad was out biking and he had a heart attack, and he died. There's not really much I can say about that, except he was the most important person in my life, and after he died, I lost myself for a while. But I found myself again. It took a long time and a lot of tantrums, but I came out of it a different, and I think, a better person. My last year of high school was 2011, and I decided to fuck university for the time being and see how far a few thousand in the bank could get me. Quite far, as it turns out. I volunteered at our chalet, which is one of the World Centres owned by the World Association of Girl Guides and Girl Scouts, during the Northern Hemisphere summer of 2012 in Switzerland. It was pretty amazing, and I pushed myself further than I ever thought I could go, during sunrise hikes and throwing myself off bridges. Then I spent 2 months travelling through Italy, Greece, France and Spain. That was amazing, and sometimes I still can't quite believe I did it. I saw the ruins of Olympia, and I drank far too much on a beach in Crete, hired a bike and spent the day riding around Barcelona, and of course took a photo near the Leaning Tower of Pisa. I've never had a good tan as I had in Spain. At the end of October 2012, I flew to Leeds and trained it to Hull to see my family, a week with them, and then it was off to London to start the current chapter of my life. I volunteered at Pax Lodge, another World Centre owned by Girl Guides, for 4 months, then wound up in Shepherd's Bush working full time and having a fucking good time. I've been kind of aware of a YouTube community for a long time before then, probably a good 4 years, but it was about then I started to seriously think about making my own videos. I knew people back home kind of didn't really know what I was doing and I was sick of taking photos, so instead one day I set up my camera and I did my introduction to ThatConfusedKiwi and here we are. I have plans of going home at the end of this year, but for now I'm just trying to live for now. I want to see Paris again, and Portugal and Turkey. I think I'll hit up Germany and Russia, and then maybe I'll feel ready to go back. I want to be a feminist for the rest of my days, and I want to inspire others like I've been inspired. I want people to know it's never too late, and that you have to live your life like you want to, because you have one shot. My name's Naomi, and this is my life.